Geometry, Unit 6, which is Chapter 4 in the book, Section 1, Triangle Sum Conjecture. The triangle sum conjecture is that the sum of the measures of the angles in every triangle is 180 degrees. So if we take this triangle, all three angles added together will be 180. This triangle, all three angles added together will be 180. And then this triangle, all three angles added together will be 180. No matter what triangle we use, its angles will add up to 180 degrees. Well, let's prove that. So here we're going to use parallel lines to prove it. So we've got this line and this line are parallel. Now, we know these three angles create a line, thus they are a linear, not a linear pair, but they add up to 180. So angle D plus angle B plus angle E adds up to 180 because they make a line. Now using the parallel lines, this line, and then transversal, we know angle A is congruent to angle D. The reason we know that's true is because they are alternate interior angles. I have the same setup here. With that transversal, angle C is congruent to angle E. Same reason. Angle C is congruent to angle E because they are alternate interior angles. I now can substitute A for D, so that A is going to go in there. C for E, so it'll go in there. And I'll get angle A plus angle B plus angle C equals 180. So there we go. We just proved that all three angles in the triangle add up to 180 degrees. The exterior angle sum refers to the idea that the exterior angle of a triangle is the sum of the two non-adjacent angles. So if I took this side of the triangle and extended it out, the angle created here is the sum of these two angles. So based on that idea, x will be 140 degrees. Well, let's prove that. Let's prove angle x is 140 degrees. Well, we just showed that we know all three angles of a triangle add up to 180. So 30 plus 110 is 140. 140 plus 40 equals 180. So this angle has to be 40. Oh, and look, this is a linear pair, thus they have to add up to 180. And we can see x has to be 140 degrees. So let's use that idea to solve a couple of problems. Let's practice this idea. So angle y is the sum of the two non-adjacent interior angles. So it's the sum of 24 and 123. And it is 147 degrees. Angle x, we can figure out either by doing the sum of all three angles is 180, or that this is a linear pair. Either way, I get x is 33 degrees. On the second problem, we have an isosceles triangle here. You can see the two legs are marked as congruent. So these two are congruent. Thus, these two angles, the base angles, have to be congruent. So x has to be 73 degrees. Now we've got, this is an exterior angle. Here's the two non-adjacent to it interior angles. So z has to be 146. Y will end up being 34 degrees. So let's look at a little bit more complicated example. So we got the measure of ADC is 100 degrees. So that angle, ADC, is 100 degrees. Well, if this part of it is 26, Z would be 74, 100 minus 26. Y is the sum of the two non-adjacent angles. So Y would be 73 degrees, X 107. And then W, all three of these angles add up to 180. So W has to be 33. 180 minus 74 minus 73. And we're left with 33 degrees. Let's do a little bit of constructions review here. Let's construct a triangle using these three lengths. So remember what we start off with is we're just going to make a dot here. And we're going to make a line going across this. And that's going to be my starting base for my triangle. I'm going to use my compass to find the length of this first segment. I put the arc there to demonstrate that I measured that length. And I'm going to recreate that down here. So we know that is now the length of that top segment. Now let's take our compass, put it in a different color here. I'm doing blue. And I'm going to get it equal to the length of the second segment. Again, I'm going to make the mark to indicate that I got the length of it. I'm going to put this one at the first dot. And then I'm just going to make an arc. I don't know where I'm going to intercept this, so I'm just making a big arc there. There, I got a lot of opportunities where I can intercept. Then I'm going to make it equal to the length of the second one. Change the color again. Make it green. Make that arc. And then where my first one intercepts the line, that's where I'm going to make my arc. Connect it to where it intersects the blue arc. And that is my triangle. And that is the end of this lesson.